Beneath the endless blue of the Pacific Ocean lies a mystery that refuses to rest. A forgotten world, a vanished empire, a civilization that may have once stretched from the shores of Asia to the coast of the Americas. The ancient name whispered across centuries is Mu. Some call it the Pacific Atlantis. Others say it was the birthplace of humanity itself. What we know for certain is that the legend of Mu has fascinated explorers, mystics, and scholars for more than 100 years. The story begins in the late 1800s with an explorer named Augustus Le Plongeon. While studying the ruins of Chichen Itza in the Yucatan, he became convinced that the ancient Maya had once lived on a mighty continent that sank into the Pacific. In his interpretation, the hieroglyphs spoke of a queen named Mu, and a great cataclysm that destroyed her homeland. He believed she fled west, founding the early civilizations of Egypt and the Americas. The theory was bold, it was romantic, it challenged the accepted history of the world, but it was only the beginning. A few decades later, another voice carried the legend to new heights. James Churchward, a British writer and self-described archaeologist, claimed that while living in India, he was shown ancient tablets written in a lost language. He said they described an advanced civilization that once flourished on a vast Pacific continent called Mu. Its people were the ancestors of all modern nations, a spiritual and technological super race whose wisdom predated even Atlantis. According to Churchward, Mu vanished thousands of years ago after violent volcanic eruptions cracked its foundation, sending the entire landmass into the depths of the ocean. He filled his books with intricate maps, diagrams, and tales of enormous temples rising above tropical jungles. The idea took hold. It was the early age of exploration and aerial photography, when the Pacific still felt boundless and unknown. To readers around the world, Mu became a symbol of the hidden, the lost, the possible. But even before Churchward's time, there were whispers across the Pacific. Island myths from Polynesia, Micronesia, and Melanesia told of ancient homelands that sank beneath the sea, forcing their ancestors to journey across the waves to find new lands. These oral stories speak of creation, destruction, migration, and survival. Were they purely metaphorical, or did they preserve faint memories of coastlines drowned by ancient floods? Could those stories be distant echoes of something real? The modern ocean floor holds its own secrets. Beneath the calm surface lie vast ridges, sunken plateaus, and seamounts that rise thousands of feet from the abyss. Some of these are extinct volcanoes, others fragments of long-lost crust. When the first bathymetric maps of the Pacific were drawn, explorers noticed shapes that almost looked like continental outlines. And for those who believed in Mu, these discoveries seemed like proof. Off the coast of Japan, divers discovered an underwater structure near Yonaguni Island. Massive slabs of stone, stair-like formations, sharp angles that resemble carved terraces and platforms. To some, this was the smoking gun, the remains of Mu's eastern edge. To others, it was a geological trick, sculpted by natural fractures in the sandstone and the steady rhythm of the sea. Even today, scientists debate where the line between nature and ancient engineering truly lies. But when you see the footage of those submerged steps, it is hard not to wonder. Further south, on the island of Pohnpei, stands Nan Madol, a city built on a lagoon from thousands of stacked basalt columns. It rises straight out of the water, a labyrinth of canals and islets once ruled by a mysterious dynasty. For decades, Outsiders called it the Venice of the Pacific. Some fringe researchers connected it to Mu, claiming it was one of the few surviving remnants of that drowned world. Mainstream archaeology explains Nan Madol as the work of the Sodelur dynasty around 1200 CE, but the feeling of something far older lingers there. Standing among its towering black stones, one cannot help but feel that time itself moves differently. Even science offers its own versions of hidden continents. Off the coast of New Zealand lies Zealandia, a submerged continental fragment nearly the size of India. 94% of it rests below the ocean, with only a few mountaintops, the modern islands of New Zealand, visible above the surface. Zealandia shows that continents can sink, not in a single night of destruction, but slowly over millions of years. Still, for those drawn to Mu, Zealandia proves that sunken lands are more than fantasy. Perhaps the truth lies somewhere between myth and geology. Throughout history, rising seas have swallowed coastlines, and earthquakes have erased entire settlements. During the last ice age, when ocean levels were hundreds of feet lower, land bridges connected islands and continents that are now separated by thousands of miles. When the seas rose, those lands vanished beneath the waves. Could Mu have been one of them? Not a continent, but a chain of islands, a vast archipelago where ancient cultures thrived before the sea claimed their world. In ancient traditions, the ocean is alive. It remembers, it gives, and it takes. Many Pacific Islanders speak of ancestral homes that sank or drifted away, yet continue to guide them spiritually. Perhaps that is the real essence of Mu, not a physical continent, but a spiritual one. A place that lives in human memory, in longing, in the deep subconscious, where myth and history merge. Skeptics point to the absence of hard evidence, of artifacts or ruins that match the grandeur of Churchwood's vision. Yet, every time a diver descends into a newly mapped trench, or an underwater drone captures footage of an uncharted ridge, the idea of Mu resurfaces. What if we have not yet looked in the right place? What if the traces are buried beneath silt, or hidden in coral reefs, or simply waiting for the right technology to reveal them? The legend of Mu continues to inspire artists, explorers, and dreamers. It reminds us that our planet is not yet fully known, that even in the 21st century, there are mysteries still sleeping beneath the sea. Whether Mu was ever real, or whether it exists only as an echo of ancient imagination, it serves as a mirror of our own desire to find meaning in the unknown. If you stare long enough at a map of the Pacific, your eyes start to see patterns. Long chains of islands that could once have formed a larger landmass. Deep trenches that might mark where a continent split and fell. The ocean holds stories in its silence, and perhaps Mu is one of them. Maybe Mu is not lost at all. Maybe it lives in every myth of a flood, in every story of a vanished homeland, in every submerged ruin that catches the light of a diver's lamp. Perhaps the memory of that ancient world flows through the waters still, scattered among coral and stone, waiting for someone to listen. So, was Mu ever real? No one can say for sure. The ocean keeps her secrets well, but one truth remains undeniable. Every legend begins with a spark of truth, and every mystery points to something just beyond our reach. And perhaps, somewhere beneath the shifting tides and the ancient silence of the Pacific, the story of Mu is still unfolding. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more weird, wild stories. Until next time, please stay safe, stay curious, and as always, stay weird.
Like, share, and subscribe for more.